I'm under the expectation that this is not going to be a very long video, particularly, but we'll see. So there's at least one reference I want to make, and it won't even take longer than a minute. Literally, believe me, it won't, because this is all it's going to be right now. It could be even the title of the video. The ratio of female friends to male friends I would preferred, even looking back, let alone why I would have watched it the first time, which I didn't get anyways, projection a little bit, is a 60 to 70% ratio girls friends to 20 to 30% guy friends. And there are a lot of series that suggest the normally opposite of that. I don't even know how to say it like that, but the normalization of the opposite, where it's like, well, you would want to prefer to have a general consensus of the white male adult of mostly men in a cartoon or fictional series or anime series or live action, whatever you name it, of mostly men and guys and boys, compared to girls, women, and females. So it's like oh, but we have to like play this a politically correct way of equally amount guys and girls, or let's have 3 guys, 2 girls. And I don't mean to shout, I don't mean like the dank on Scooby Doo or anything like that, but just like a or any like cliche thing like Captain Planet, anything like that. Nothing like that. Those are old school cartoons, but you know, excuse me, thanks, Flem. But yeah, it's I always had an appreciation for the personality and the spirit and the soul of girls and women. I don't know why I was like this. I never wanted to. There has to be a less offensive way to say this, because I can't call out the trans community or the LGBT community for this, but because I'm not even against like some other aspects of that already. Like a lot of movements that Ron Wills will talk about on this channel, and I can link his in the end card. But like when he talks about how movements have changed over the years and how trends and movements happen over the years, but like different things like that, whether it's spiritual, political, or scientific, you name it. There's different things like that. But this fun's really screwing over this video a little bit. Not that I'm not doing it, but to myself. But yeah, different. I'm not trying to shoot myself in the foot there, but okay. But these movements don't have to dismay what I'm trying to talk about here, which is that I've always appreciated girls and women, and I've always had a deep fascination for their personalities and psyche. And it's been a deep misfortune that I never had the opportunity to be around enough of the cool ones, and and I get to know some of the really awesome ones of the opposite sex. It's like, especially because you may have seen some of my other community tab posts, not the recent ones, but the ones before that, like where it's like where I talked about how rare, if literally zero, like less than zero, how often I get to be around the opposite sex for the better reasons than even just the we get to the deeper reasons, we get to the obvious reasons, and we can also get into the other philosophical reasons that are so important as the same. Not always the same, but different. Of why it's the case that I've always had, not supposed to be ironic, of why I always did admire girls and women. And it's like a very weird energy with that. It's like, I don't hate men. I don't hate boys and men and guys and males. I don't. I'm not that kind of a person who's like, oh, well, we're just simple, bland people. Well, they're like, by the way, the opposite sex will seek that anyway sometimes. To each their own, right? Because you're going to think you're opposite. The grass is always greener effect, where it's like, I remember my head's around Barry. But you're always going to think that we have is not enough. You're always opposite what you have. Same energy with the genders and male and female and that. It's like, and masculinity, feminine, whatever you going to say it in a politically correct way. But like, where you're going to always, like, for me to be a man and be like, I don't think men are interesting. They're boring. They're always going straight to the point, which is not always a good thing. And they're always caring about results, which is also not always a good thing. And it's like a different thing with that. They're always even too logical, which is not always a good thing, honestly. But cliches that I'm going to describe with my own gender that I don't even know how to describe easily. But then you have women who have always had the most abstract, theoretical, intuitive, emotionally driven, always been creative, always been like complex, and even very flexible ways of doing their things. That's just the female feminine trait as a whole. It's like it could be sexist. It could be the case that it doesn't have to be like that for any gender. That's even what some of the trans community will say to you as well. Like some of the transgender community will be like, this is why you shouldn't have to distinguish between men and women based on traits. It's like, I can see where they're going with that, but I want to believe enough of what wouldn't have to necessarily be biology and psychology and cultural traits over the years. Okay, not the millennia of that, not like that, but in a nutshell, I know where the traits can lie. And I had to even ask this to my friends sometimes, where it's like, is it true that we only get enough information from our own gender or sex traits that we don't have to know anything collectively? In other words, are we gonna always be on a misguided way of seeing anything, no matter what gender we are, because we're never gonna have enough information? And they told me no, because you can literally have enough information anyways, even if it's not gonna be perfect ever in the first place. Because it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, you can already have enough information without the other sex's input. It's like it's not supposed to be sexist or prejudiced to be like that. There's a reason that works, and you always want other people's input more than the merrier, really, truly. But there's a way that works anyway. So, in summary, I've always loved girls and women. Many of the ones I've been around, family, friends, strangers, I like fossilize out with the exception of the real stuff. I've always been fascinated around girls and women. I thought they always had complex personalities I've always admired. Even wished I had complex personalities like them as a man myself. But girls and women, females, any feminine trait of that, always admired it. Wish I could have had more of it in my life, but it's okay if I don't. Even if I do already, more than I realize, right?